Today's guest is a very exciting one. He started racing at an extremely young age. He got his first quad bike when he was just 2 years old and started karting at 4 years old. He is the FIA Formula 3 2021 World Champion and is currently in his third season of FIA Formula 2. Please welcome Dennis Hauger. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today. I'm sure that our audience is going to be very excited to hear that you're chatting with us and telling us a little bit about what you've been up to recently and what you're excited for the future. So welcome to the Formula World YouTube channel.
Thank you.
So I thought we'd start off with some quick fire questions, if that's okay with you. So I'll just
Right.
fire through them and try and give like a quick answer if you can. Okay?
I'll try.
Okay, perfect. So street circuit or purpose-built track?
Street circuit is more fun, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Sprint races or full-length races?
Full-length races.
Mm-hmm. And a win from a recovery drive or a win from pole position?
Win from pole position, I guess, is always the best.
Okay. Do you know what? Some drivers have had different answers to that.
Yeah.
Favorite track of all time?
I guess Melbourne.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Monaco.
Yeah. I guess that's a fun track, but
Fun as well.
yeah.
Who was your driver role model growing up?
My dad, I would say.
Oh, good answer.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about racing for a living?
Yeah, I guess the competition, but as well, fighting for the details, fighting for the hundreds, trying to be a perfectionist, I guess, is a part of the sport that I love to, fight for and really push to find those limits. I guess that's a part of it that I love.
Sure. Who is your most listened to music artist?
I guess I have a song that I listen to before I get in the car, which is Hell Yeah by Rev Theory. It's a
great song.
Rock song. But on a daily basis, I just listen to some acoustic or rap, just depending on the vibe, I guess, but not a specific one.
Okay, and what is your favorite sport to watch?
Racing.
Racing, yeah, thought that might be the answer. Okay, and what is your favorite sport to do outside of racing?
Does simulator count?
No, that doesn't count. We have to do something totally different.
Oof. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I do training and running, but I don't know
Yeah,
if
that
you could
counts.
call
That counts.
But paddle and just
I knew you were gonna say that one as well.
Yeah, some different activities, I guess, is just keeping yourself going.
Yeah. I feel like so many drivers are into paddle at the moment.
Yeah, it's the Formula 1 drivers are all about golf. I don't know why, but it's not my thing. I haven't really done so much of it, but takes so long.
Yeah. Okay. And if motorsport suddenly didn't exist, what would you be doing?
Oof, probably not having any idea what to do with my life anymore. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm just going to school, I guess, and then we would see. Yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough. And final quickfire question. In your opinion, who is the F1 GOAT, the greatest of all time?
I would say in pure driving, I would probably say Max is one of the better ones. Like looking at videos and stuff, comparing him to anyone else on track at the moment, he's quite at a high level, obviously. I think we can all put a decent lap together, but on of the drivers on the grid in F1, he's really, in terms of consistency, is really up there. So I guess him and Schumacher, I would say one of the better ones I've looked at as a kid as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you for answering those random quickfire questions. So I thought we could take it back a little bit. I read that you started quad biking at 2 years old. Crazy, by the way. Tell me more about growing up in Norway and what it was like balancing like racing and karting with growing up.
Yeah, I had a childhood that my dad, he was doing rallying himself in Norway. So he's always been into motorsport and cars in general. So I got my quad when I was 2. and then
Crazy.
a motocross bike when I was 4, and then a go-kart when I was 4 or 5.
Wow.
So I got into a bit of everything,
Yeah.
but I always wanted to do karting. That was sort of my main thing that I enjoyed. That
Hmm.
was my passion. But I mean, generally, I was just doing any type of sport, football, climbing, skiing, running, anything to stay active.
Hmm.
So I guess I always enjoyed the competition side of it. But it was not always easy to combine the school, for example, with the karting, especially going internationally when I was like 11.
Wow.
There was quite a bit of traveling as a kid, and then also doing a lot of school, trying to find that balance between, for example, family and friends versus the racing was not
Hmm.
always easy, especially at a young age. But racing has always been sort of my main passion, my only big passion. So it was obviously easy to have that focus and then do the work also on the side with the school and everything. Obviously, it all matched out quite well because the school could help me to sort of balance it out.
That's good.
Yeah, I think as any racing driver, you sort of need to find that balance in life.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you remember a point in time where you realized that you wanted to turn racing into a career, that maybe it was like a moment of recognition from someone that was like, you're so talented behind the wheel, like you've got to pursue this?
Uh, Yeah, I don't know the exact moment, but I
Yeah.
mean, I think when I turned 10, 11 years old, when I started doing international karting
Mhm.
against, people from 30 different countries or whatever it was obviously a high level at the time. I just driven in Norway doing, the Norwegian championship, and it was not the same, let's say. So going into that category and then doing well straight away, getting wins and championships. I guess I knew a bit more, oh, I have some speed here
Hmm.
and I love
Just a
this
little bit.
thing. So, yeah. So I think at that point I knew I wanted what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be. Obviously, watching F1 and sort of that kind of stuff, you always knew what you were looking up to. But I guess it all became more of a goal and a aim at that time. And then after that it sort of became a step-by-step thing, getting the German championship, fighting in European championships and world championships, and then getting into Formula cars, suddenly doing well as well, and Red Bull and everything, it all bunched up on each other,
Hmm.
and at some point, it became more of a goal. So yeah, it's always been a dream, but at that time it became more realistic, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting. And you mentioned Red Bull there. So you signed on to their junior development program. Can you tell me how that came about? And was it a long process or was it quite a quick process?
I think when I was 13, uh, yeah, I think 13, I was doing European and World Championship in karting. And then we got a call from Helmut Marko, or my dad did. And he was obviously a bit shocked, like,
Yeah,
why
I
did
can
he do this
imagine.
call? But yeah, then I got a simulator test. No, he called and then he asked my age and stuff like that. And he thought I was older. He thought I was old enough to do Formula
Wow.
cars, which I wasn't. So
Yeah,
then he,
13. That's pretty young.
yeah, I guess. And then he he hung up, and then I think he called back a year later, and I got a simulator test with them in Milton Keynes, and it went really well. And at that point, the contract was on the table. But before that as well, I had to do like reports before or after every race
Hmm.
when I was 14,
Wow.
and then send it to him. And
Interesting.
yeah, I guess to see how I was, working,
Like a little
how they went,
diary
I
to keep
guess.
up with you.
Yeah,
That's really
exactly.
interesting.
So yeah, it
Yeah.
all it all came down to the simulator test, I guess, in the end,
Hmm.
and that's what set it off for me to get the contract on the table, I guess.
Wow. And they're pretty household name now in motorsport, particularly in recent years with their extreme dominance in Formula One. What was it like working with the Red Bull team, and how did they support you, I guess, throughout your stints between F4 to F2?
I think the junior programs will become more and more uh, good around the junior drivers. I think throughout the years, at the beginning, obviously, I think when you work your way up in the categories, you're most of the time working with the F4, F3, and F2 teams,
Sure.
and really putting the effort with them. Obviously, they're the ones who are doing the job on the car
On the
you're driving.
ground. Yeah.
So I think that's important part, have your feet on the ground and work with what you have here and now. But obviously doing the simulator with them, at some point getting up to the F1 simulator and seeing how that sort of world works, was a learnful experience, a good experience, and obviously a motivating thing. So since I was 14, 15, being a part of that, obviously growing up like that as well, has obviously made me in some way. So yeah, it's been a good journey with them, obviously, up until the point. Yeah.
They're pretty ruthless. And we've seen that throughout recent years. They're with multiple drivers. Have you noticed any major shifts, I guess, since driving without them, as you are in this year's F2 season?
To be honest, no. I mean, I'm grateful for the years I've had with them. It's been a big opportunity, obviously, and a good journey. If there's been times where I've been a bit off, like on and off with them. At 1 year, it's not been going too well. I think in my first year in F4, for example, I became fourth in the championship. Had some issues, but it just wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And then the next year, I sort of was like a half Red Bull driver, without the car without the logo on the car. And then I won that championship, and suddenly
And then they wanted to put the logo back on.
Yeah, so it's always been a bit of a back and forth thing, and obviously last year was my second year. Obviously wanted to win the championship, but it's just been a bit of a struggle in the Formula 2 car for me. And this year, obviously there's been new cars into the Formula 2 championship, so it's been a bit of a build up, and I think I worked well with the team to maximize the car and myself. And now I think we're really confident and really comfortable to aim for the championship. So I mean, it doesn't change much. Yeah, it doesn't change much for me. I think it's been a good experience, but at this point I just have to focus everything I got on the championship this year, and then we will see how it goes and what the future brings. But yeah, I got all my energy on this year, and then we'll see.
Yeah. So you're racing with MP Motorsport for the second year in F2. Well, third year in F2, but second year with MP. How would you describe working with MP Motorsport? And I guess the dynamic compared to teams like Prema, is it completely different? How is like the communication and the team dynamic?
I would say I have a really good relationship with the guys, especially the engineers and the mechanics. Obviously, the whole team is working really well together. It's like a big family, more or less. To be fair, like Prem as well, they're a big family, really good atmosphere, and there are similarities in the team, I would say, in terms of the people and the culture and sort of how the guys work together. So I really enjoyed the time with MP. We've done a good job, and I think this year, as we have some good relationships and I worked together already for a year, we can really dive into the work, with a new car this year. I think that's been a big part of it, to be where we are today. So yeah, really enjoyed the time, and hopefully we can continue the good work we've had so far this year, to bring home a good result for the championship and for the team.
Yeah, communication is so important, I guess, as well, between the team, and it's important that that's really strong. But you mentioned Prema, you won your title in Formula 3 with them in 2021. How would you describe the jump from F3 to F2, and what surprised you the most about that transition?
Yeah, obviously I had a good year in F3, winning the championship there.
Good is an understatement. Incredible year.
And then jumping into F2, we had a few wins here and there, but we really struggled just to find the right balance, and my teammate as well struggled which was his third year, I think, in that time. So it wasn't easy that year to sort of find the confidence and everything to build up the speed. Unfortunately, obviously, I have good relationships with them. It's a incredible team, you know, and I think it just wasn't meant to be that year. Not going into too much into detail about
Yeah.
it, obviously, but yeah, it just didn't work out, unfortunately, and obviously hope we could have made something good, you know, another year in the team, but yeah, in the end, you know, it was an experience, my first year in F2, and experiences that I'm obviously keeping with me and learning from.
Yeah. And that's it. It's learning from those times that are a little bit more difficult that help shape you into a race winning driver, a championship winning driver. So this is your third year racing in F2. So I'd like to know, how are you approaching this year compared to previous years? And is there anything that you're doing quite differently, whether that's mindset, whether that's something physical?
Uh, I would say the physical side and the work I put in behind, in that sense, has been stepped up a bit. I would say just really motivated, you know, finding myself with the team and with everyone around to really push to be the best I can be. I think that's always obviously always been there, but just taking it to the next level, try to be even better. And I mean, in the end, you know, with the team, we've just found a good spot together, and found something good to sort of be up there all the time, hopefully. And I guess that's the biggest part of it, obviously. But you know, at the same time, I'm really dedicated to try and do the best job I can, behind the scenes as well, and really push the team and myself forward. So that's been a motivating part. The team says the same thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been good so far, and the motivation is high, and the passion is high. So I think there's always times for the drivers where, you know, where it doesn't go too well, or you know, it goes really very well. And I think I've learned that throughout the years now, that you know, no matter how it goes, it's just about keeping the work going and keeping the routines to try to maximize yourself with the team. So yeah, I think it's just about the experiences you get on the way, as you said.
Yeah. And do you enjoy the physical side of the training? Like, is that something that you enjoy doing, or is that something that's like one of your least favorite parts about, I guess, yeah, being a racing driver?
It's a living hell. No, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I mean, to be fair, I think I did a lot of, for example, running when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I did a lot of work then. And I think just got a bit tired of, for example, running and stuff like that, at some point. But you know, training has always been a part of my life,
Yeah.
no matter what, if it's 4 times a week or 7 times or more a week. You know,
Wow.
it's always been a part of what I do, a part of the sport, a part of the dedication, I guess. So I think, you know, I enjoy it now more than ever, I would say, at this point.
Interesting.
Getting older as well, knowing what it takes, knowing what you have to do, you know, to be the best you can be. I think that's been a big part of why I enjoy it more.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have the routines when I'm home, in terms of training, simulator, all that kind of stuff. So it's good to be back sometimes, just getting all that into sort of a routine again. With the traveling, it's not always easy. So
Yeah.
getting back, having a bit of a break is always nice.
Yeah, for sure. So I'd say that you're probably one of the most high profile F2 drivers. How have you found it in the spotlight, the press, the fan base? How is that for you? Do you enjoy it?
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's always nice to get the recognition, um, especially also from the Norwegian fans. It's been incredible to see the growth in the sport, and you know, the fan side of it, and a big part of why I've been able to be where I am right now, in terms of, you know, sponsorship budgets and everything. So it's been a big part of it, an important part of it for me. Um, and yeah, it's obviously it's a cool thing to see people watching, supporting, and being part of sort of that journey, and
Yeah.
that's cool. But at the end, you're just out there. You want to drive. You want to do what you love.
Mm.
It's a lot of travel days. So it's always ups and downs in the mental state, I think. But knowing that people support and are there for you, and it's always a boost of motivation.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It probably helps pick you up after potentially some down days or long days. It's probably nice. One of the team at Formula World said that at the Hungarian Grand Prix, she's never seen so many fans that were screaming your name and cheering for you, which is probably pretty nice to see.
Yeah, it's always cool to see. Sometimes I've seen a lot of Norwegian flags,
Hmm.
especially on the European tracks. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool to see, the I guess myself going into the sport, but
Yeah.
also the Norwegian fans and generally the recognition, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. What do the next few years look like for you, and where do you see yourself progressing?
Oof.
Big
That's
question.
yeah, that's a big question. If I had the answer, I would tell you, but
Yeah.
it's a part of the sport. I think at the time in my career where I am now, it's
Hmm.
so for most drivers, I would say, an uncertainty where you are.
Yeah.
All I can say and all I know is that I have to keep working
Hmm.
and keeping my work ethic high,
Hmm.
to be able to go where I want to be. But I think to be able to do the best job I can this year will be the most important thing. Getting the
Yeah.
championship is my goal, and that's my only goal at the moment and my only focus. So, taking it from there, trying to win the championship,
Hmm.
and then we will see what happens. You never know what the future brings. So
No,
we
exactly.
will see.
Yeah, taking every day as it comes. I like it. And do you have any off-track aspirations? Is there anything that you are looking to pursue? Any personal projects that you have upcoming?
Not specifically. I mean, working a bit around my own brand,
Hmm.
obviously. So a bit on that side, but obviously having 260 travel days or so,
Oof.
there's a limited amount of time you get to spend at home, actually.
Yeah.
Building up my own brand and building up my own name. I guess it's something you're working on, especially also to be able to do what I do at this
Mm,
point in my career. I need to do that.
yeah.
But I enjoy it. It's like a side thing where you have to do it, but it's enjoyable. So yeah, I don't have a specific thing I do, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, a bit here and there.
Yeah. I know it's crazy how much your personal brand plays a big part in it, and the commercial side of things, and being attractive from a sponsorship perspective. So yeah, I imagine that's probably a big focus. So our last driver that we interviewed, their question for you is pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I would say no. I mean, I can eat it, but it's not the thing I
Agree.
would go for. I wouldn't go and buy pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, hard
Uh,
pass for me as well.
yeah.
I'm gonna ask a quick random dream team question for you. So this is basically, if we had to build you a team, what would it be? So I'd like to start off with the team name. What would you call your team?
Oh my God. Uh, Hauger Racing,
Okay,
making it
I
easy.
thought it might be something like that. Okay, and where
Yeah.
would you base the headquarters?
All the teams almost are based in the UK, but I
Hmm.
guess if I could, I would base it in Norway. More
Yeah,
easy.
in Oslo, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, and what cars would you be racing?
F1 cars, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I thought maybe you might say GC3, but we'll go for F1.
Yeah. Making it
Okay,
easy.
and what type of racing would you be doing? Like endurance, regular, sprint, street circuits?
Is this like a dream scenario or
This is just hypothetical.
okay? I would have a team in F1, and then
Okay.
team during the 24-hour races.
Oh, that's a great shout. Yeah.
And then I'll have a junior program for the
Have
junior
fun.
drivers. Yeah.
He's thinking about the development drivers.
Yeah.
Very well rounded.
The future.
Okay. How many drivers though are in the team? Is it just two if it's an F1, I guess?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. In
Yeah.
F1 it would be 2 drivers.
Yeah. So if you were one of the drivers, because in this scenario you're a driver, not the team principal, what would your ideal teammate look like? Not necessarily like a name, but like describe them. Are they like similar level to you? Are you like main priority driver and they're sort of like a little bit of a younger driver, more of a development driver? Like how would that dynamic work for you in an ideal world?
Oof, I think I guess depending on where I am in my career, but in a dream scenario, obviously, driving in F1, I guess someone around similar age, at the similar level, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's always nice to have a bit of a, a bit of
a rank of team orders in your favor.
Yeah, a bit of an edge on the other guy in terms of pace.
Yeah.
That's always the dream.
Sure. Okay. And then last question is, what color would the livery be?
Oof. I mean, it's probably not gonna sound nice, but I guess my kind of orange yellow.
I knew you were gonna say orange. I just knew it.
Has been my favorite color since I was a kid, because my dad had like orange, black and white on his car.
Nice.
So I guess I would go with that, something like that, just to keep it, as a dream part.
Nice. Okay, maybe I'll have to mock it up. So when I turn this into a clip, I'll mock up your car. Hauger Racing. Amazing. Love it. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. I'm very excited to see what the rest of the season has in store for you. And all of our audience, I'm sure, will be following along very closely. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.